Join us toy hunting at Frank Son Collectible Show in Southern California. This is the Fanboy Cantina. Today's video takes us to City of Industry, California. That's outside of LA. And this is a popular destination for toy collectors, Pokemon collectors, all kinds of collectibles at Frank Son's. It is a great idea to get there early because even though the parking lot is massive, it fills up very, very quickly. All right, let's go inside. Frank Son Collectible Show represents 65,000 square feet, hosting over 200 vendors, individual vendors, with all kinds of toys, all kinds of collectibles across genres and decades. This is Dark Helmet. Dark Helmet is towards the entrance, and I think it's the single largest vendor at Frank Son. Throughout its space, you'll find these very nicely lit cabinets, and within them, toys across the 60s, 70s, 80s, 90s through today. If you are looking for something, Dark Helmet probably has it. I love the Star Wars collection. It is massive, especially in the vintage genre from the late 70s into the 80s. There are some toys that I haven't seen in box since they first came out. Such an amazing display, and there are certain toys that I haven't even thought about in ages, like this viewer thing. I haven't thought about that thing, and it's so cool to see it at Dark Helmet. Dark Helmet has to have one of the largest, if not the largest, Hot Toys 1/6 scale displays in the world. This collection is massive. Whether you're a fan of Predator or Marvel or DC or Back to the Future, these figures, many of these figures have not been in production in years, so it is very special to be able to see them in person at Dark Helmet. All right, that was just Dark Helmet. So let's check out the rest of Frank Son. So as you go in and head towards the right, there are display cabinets. This is like a museum of collectibles, and you'll find artwork, Ghostbusters, lunchboxes, Transformers, Macross, Robotech. Now, I am not surprised in the least that the Holy Grail is at Frank Son. All right, post in the comments, by the way, as we're going through here, what collectibles jump out at you? What do you have in your collection? What are you looking for as your personal Holy Grail? All right, now let's get further into Frank Son. These displays are very cool. Let's go further into Frank Son and check out more. As we go through the aisles, you can tell the focus area for each individual vendor. One of the standouts, if you're a fan of monsters or horror, this one is a must-see. I don't remember the name of this vendor, but this place, you will see it, is an absolute standout. I did for myself. I picked up this Super 7 Dracula figure in the middle. There are other Super 7 collectibles here, obviously on display in the video, and just a wonderful, wonderful shop. Okay, let's continue on at Frank & Son. Lots of diecast collectibles as well. I've been getting more into 1/64 scale. I guess I'm getting back into 1/64 scale because, you know, I used to collect Hot Wheels and Matchbox back in the day. Lots of vendors had either Hot Wheels, and some had, you know, Tomica, Mini GT, other brands. Check out Galactus and these other comic character statues. They are stunning. Any one of these would be amazing in somebody's collection. To see so many of them together, absolutely breathtaking. Towards the back of Frank & Son, you'll find these stock cars or funny cars, but beneath them are all of these Pokemon vendors, and they were doing tremendous business. Lots of dollars changing hands. Some of them had lines for that particular vendor. Massive selection. You'll find Pokemon cards elsewhere in Frank & Son, and there's also a section that we'll get to at the end of this video. At SideQuest, if you're a Dungeons & Dragons fan or a role-playing game fan, this is absolutely a vendor to check out. These statues are amazing. I haven't seen these before. I don't know who makes them, but they are really wonderfully crafted. Echo-based toys, for me at least, is a legend in the 1/6 scale business. I used to be a big fan of 1/6 scale, still am to a degree. Great to see them in person. There were a handful, a few vintage video game vendors, say that a few times fast. This isn't something that I personally collect, but I was amazed by how collectible some of these old school video games truly are today. This vendor here, Toy Arena, is one that I spent a good amount of time just walking around and checking out what they had, and I did buy several blind box things and a Gunpla set. If you're a Gundam or Gunpla collector, this is definitely a vendor that you'll want to check out. You know, I think it is good to have a sense of how much things cost. Like, I would not pay $25 for this figure. So in general, when you're navigating through Frank & Son, it is helpful to, you know, just have a sense of how much things cost, and, you know, maybe taking that moment to check out what are prices elsewhere, I think is a good best practice. This vendor here, I was very impressed by the selection of different masks as shown here, other collectibles too. There were a handful of Squid Game collectibles on display. like at this vendor here. This vendor also had these very large Bearbrick figures. I haven't seen these franchises represented in Bearbrick form before, so I thought that was cool. And lastly here, this is that section that I was speaking about, a section off to the side of Frank Son, towards the left of the entrance. Lots of Pokemon vendors as shown here. Hey, thank you so much for watching. Please take a moment to like, share, and subscribe. This has been the Fanboy Cantina.